Hello, my name is Warren. I have an opinion, a camera, and access to YouTube. This year I'm doing a review each week in a second run discount theater. I pay $1.50 to see the movie, and basically this whole project is the idea of me taking my time to watch a movie that I would normally see or not see, but basically what I would want to do is create some sort of middleman between people who are not sure if they should see a movie or, wonder if it's worth their time or not. Basically, does the movie merit being seen by anybody, everybody, somebody? That's where I would like to come in and kind of do that. This week I saw a movie I would have never, ever seen unless it was something like this for a project, and that movie was Les Miserables. I will call it Les Mis because I didn't like it. That's the problem. I just didn't care, and it's not like I don't like musicals, because I appreciate West Side Story for what it is and where it was, and as a timepiece kind of, or a period piece kind of movie. It's a relic of its time, and it's a beautiful demonstration of what movies were like, what musicals were like, and a modern day kind of thing, Romeo and Juliet. It worked as a musical, it worked as a love story, and it worked as a drama, and I liked that kind of stuff. So I mean, to other musicals though, not so much. I didn't see Mamma Mia, I didn't see Hairspray, I did see Rent. I can appreciate Rent for what it does, the message it had. Some of the music was catchy. It worked on a musical level. I thought there was nothing wrong with Rent. It's more of like what I would say. I like the movie, the producers. I've only seen the remake version, the reimagined version with Nathan Lane. I love Nathan Lane. But I love that movie. It was a great movie, and maybe because it was satire, and maybe because I also like South Park, Big Law and Cut. What I'm getting at is my bias kind of filters in here, because I just don't get musicals. I don't like them. I never found them to be much of entertaining. And everyone who I know was like, "Are you going to see this movie? Is this something you're going to see?" I said, "Yeah," because I want to open my mind up. I want to see if I can convince myself that some movies, despite what they may seem like, are worth watching. And this was not the case. It was so boring. I was more bored with this than I was with Killing Them Softly. The movie drags on. It's so jarring. There's so many things wrong with this movie. And not just because it's a musical, but on a technical standpoint. This is some of the sloppiest editing I've ever seen. There are so many cuts from one thing to another. There's scenes where, people are in the room, you don't have the room to the very end, and then the scene changes and suddenly they're with that character, or suddenly they have this item now that you may or may not have seen. The love story that takes place in the second act of the movie, it's that Hollywood love at first sight garbage that just gets pushed into your face. These two characters kind of cross paths, and I almost missed this. It was a 4-second long part. These characters cross paths, and you're just oh, they see, boom. Next thing you know, they're spending 10, 15 minutes singing about each other. They've known each other forever, and they're soulmates. And it's just, no, that's not good character development. That's bad pacing. And the worst offender of all these parts is when more than one person is singing at one time. They're usually not singing the same thing. And so when they both start singing, it's hard enough with their accents and with the words being they don't rhyme, there's no rhythm, it's just words being sung for the purpose of singing the whole movie. And when someone else starts singing on top of that, different words, you're not hearing a thing. There's no chance you're going to understand what they're saying at least the first time around. So if you want to get this movie, you got to watch it at least twice or have heard it before, because I didn't understand a damn thing. And it does this multiple times. And the whole movie is I was like, all right, you know what? It's a musical, but whatever. There's good talent. There's Hugh Jackman. There's Russell Crowe, who I've grown accustomed to liking Russell Crowe. It's been this time where I didn't like him for a while, but I like the guy. I don't think he's that bad at acting like I used to. Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Amanda Seyfried. I didn't even know she was in this movie. I like Amanda Seyfried. I think she's great. I think she's pretty. I don't know. And then Sacha Baron Cohen's in it. God, what's her name? Tim Burton's wife is in it, but I'm not surprised. There's a lot of talent in this movie, but it's wasted potential, across the board. it's so hard to sit through this movie. It's as long as Lord of the Rings. It's as long as Star Wars. It's as long as Saving Private Ryan. And all those movies are way better at conveying that message than this one is. It's just people being sad because bad things happen, or people being jerks because that's the, like, Russell Crowe's character is this, like, this policeman kind of character. He's this soldier character. In the very beginning is like looking down on prisoners, and there's Hugh Jackman, and he's pulling this boat into this harbor, and he's instantly it's like bad guy, Russell Crowe, bad guy, and he pardons Hugh Jackman, and he's like, I'm gonna make sure you suffer the rest of your life. And the whole movie is just Hugh Jackman running away from Russell Crowe and picking up people as he goes. And it's just like, one scene ends and it says 8 years later, and then like he's in this town, and he's a mayor or something. He's an important person in this town, and suddenly Russell Crowe just shows up, and he's like, "Hey, I think I know you," and that's the whole movie. Hugh Jackman moves to another town. Russell Crowe just happens to be there. It doesn't make any sense. It's really, really like nothing. It defies explanation the whole time. There's one good song I like. I call it the Red and Black song, because they say red, the color of, and then black, and they change the lyrics up for both parts, and it kind of conveys bad, why people would view those as bad colors, and why people would view those as hopeful colors. And I like the contrasting elements, because that's what the whole movie's about. Just because you're a bad person doesn't mean, or just because you've done a bad thing doesn't mean you're a bad person. I can understand that, but the whole movie, people are just sad and lonely and depressed, and it's called Les Miserables. I should have expected it, but why is this so, like, why is it? The whole thinking I had in the movie was, why are these things happening? What is the logic behind a lot of these things? And everyone's like, you're gonna cry. I've cried during movies. I've admitted on camera I've cried during movies. Like, Here Comes the Boom made me cry. A lot of my weakness is brother things. I have brothers, and if someone mentions, or if something bad happens to a brother, that hits me pretty good. So, like, I'm not heartless, but not once, I brought napkins, not once was I even pushed to, like, feeling tears coming on. I was just bored and confused, and every time I tried to sink myself into it, bad editing, bad word choice, like, bad delivery on song, bad characters, like bad anything would just yank me right back out and like put that fourth wall right back up. And to me, as a person who appreciates film, I could just not do this. Like, I don't know that any of the source material, I don't know anything about it outside of what I just saw, and all I can say is I was bored. If you like musicals, you know what? You might like it. I don't know. I like some musicals, but like I don't like all musicals. It's a very specific thing, so I don't know. But if you want to be sad, watch it, I guess. If you want to be entertained, don't. There's nothing here. Not once was I ever like, I didn't feel like I was having a good time the whole movie. And that to me, like, yeah, to say a sad movie, but like I wasn't moved emotionally. It was just me and the screen the whole time. I'm gonna drop a spoiler here because I really don't see the point of watching, of spending that much time watching this kind of movie. I just don't, it's just because I guess I just don't appreciate it. But the things like this happen all the time. The movie will take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, upwards of an hour in one scene, and it'll be like over the course of maybe a weekend. Maybe a weekend. And then they'll just jump forward. Now we're 8 years into the future. And it will spend another chunk of time just dragging on and on and on and on and on. And the worst offender is Russell Crowe's death scene. He gets let go of Hugh Jackman twice in this whole movie, and both times he's just like, I'm so confused. I'm the law. You need to abide the law. Once a thief, always a thief. Why does he keep letting me go? And he's pacing this like bridge over this dam or this waterfall. I don't even know. It looked like a dam, and it's dark, and he's, woe is me. I now understand. His character arc is finally over, and it uses this stupid technique where it shows him pacing. Oh, he's on a bridge. Oh, look, he's walking on the banister. Oh, look what's below him. It's certain death. And it shows it no less than 5 times. This camera pans down or cuts to this dam. Like anybody who at that point was not convinced he was jumping off the edge knew he was jumping off the edge. In fact, it would have been a bigger surprise had he jumped off like onto the bridge side and walked away. Like, I would have been blown away at that point. I would have been like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. It's so bad. That's the whole movie. Uh-oh, something bad's gonna happen to him. Uh-oh, something bad's gonna happen to her. And it's just, bad things happen to bad people, good people, anybody. And you know what? That's the movie is people die, people get sad, people get depressed, bad things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people, bad things just happen. Let's all be miserable. I was miserable watching Les Miserables.